I'm Mrs. Sharma and I'm here to take the class on Computer Awareness, Chapter 7, Accountancy, Class 12th. What do you mean by the term computer and how it is associated with the term awareness? Today you know it is the IT age that is being following, right? So it is very important to know the use of computer and to be aware of what all is happening with the coming era of computer that is coming or emerging every day. Now that IT age means computer is hitting every sector of the society. Take it economics, take it finance, take it science, take it research activities, medical, anywhere you go and you find the use of the computer. From the basic thing that is filing or writing of the documents or sending of mails, we use the computers for weather forecasting also. So there are many areas, almost all the areas where the computers are used, and drastically changes are taking place in the use of computers. And now today we can say it's not only the experts that can use the computers, it's even the person who used to sit at home, that is the ladies who were sitting at home doing nothing, are well aware with the use of computers. This is the computer awareness introduction of the chapter. We will next move to the next topic, that is advantages. What do you mean by advantages? Advantages, also known as merits. Merits of what? See, everything you do it for a purpose. Whenever you do something, you do it for a purpose. You find that there are many good things attached to a particular thing, then only you will move forward and do something. So attaching a good thing or something good associated with the thing, we are moving further. So with many merits of the computer, we will study few merits here which are discussed in your textbooks, and we will see what can be or what are the advantages that are being served by the computer. First is speed. First advantage or merit of computer is speed. Nothing can be more speedy than this electronic gadget. Computer is one of the electronic gadget that is being found in every home today. You take the PCs, you take the laptops, even a small child of age, maybe minimum, you can say 2 to 3 years, is owning a computer because it is a very speedy electronic gadget. The speed increases every time. The speed is increasing. See, first used to use the microprocessors, now you have the 3rd generation, 4th generation processors, 5th generation processors. So this is the speed which matters. Today in this busy world, you don't have time for the work to be done in a slow fashion. So when you want the work to be done at an emergent or urgent basis, you need to have speed. So computer is the one and the only gadget that runs with a speed that is fast as a light. So one important advantage of computers is speed. Second you have is accuracy. What do you mean by the term accuracy? Accurate means just at the snap of fingers, this is right. That is known as accuracy. Accuracy is like, suppose I give the example, you know answer is 0.157, or you can also write 0.16. Right? This is, you are getting the accurate results. When you deal in some kind of mathematical calculations, there is a tendency that you might not get the accurate results. Barring the mathematical calculations, even you see that you have the weather forecasting of certain states or certain areas. You see that today in the morning there are high cloud, it is a cloudy day, but till evening you might have a very clear sky. So with the help of computers and the software that are being generated for the very purpose, you see that you get accurate results with the help of computers. Next is capacity to store information. What is information? Information is a piece of data. Data or information is something you have gathered which you will be using. Capacity to store information. Computer is a gadget where you can not only put the data, manipulate the data, exploit the data, present the data, but also it has the very feature to store the data. You not only just use the data, but also you can store the data and you can use it for further processing. Next you have is user friendliness. What do you mean by the term user friendliness? User friendliness means, first tell me what is user. User means the person who is using a particular machine or a particular product. So here I am the user of the computer. So I am a user. Friendliness means I am friendly or I am amenable to a particular machinery. So user friendliness means that computer is very friendly or I can use it in a very easy manner. That is known as user friendliness. When you have a gadget, when you cannot use it, you have a gadget that can do many work for you, but you cannot use it, that means that is not a user friendly gadget. But when you have a gadget or you have a machine or a product which you can use it to serve your ends very easily, that is a user friendly gadget. Next advantage is versatility. What do you mean by the term versatility? Versatility means it is not only done for one purpose. Versatile means that I am able to teach science, I am able to teach geography, I am able to teach accounts, I am able to teach Hindi. That is, one person can do a number of jobs. That is known as versatility. Same goes with the computer also. Computer is very versatile in nature. Means that it can perform mathematical operations also. You can run music, listen sound. You can also play games on the computer. You can do many more high level tasks on the computer. So computer is a very versatile gadget. That means you can perform number of operations and that too at the same time, right? Next is automation. Next advantage is automation. What do you mean by the term automation? We have two things that we always come across in our lives. One term is manual, other is automated. Manual means I am doing or I am making somebody do something for me. That is manual. Automation means something that has been operated or performed automatically. Once you feed something and that's being done automatically, that is known as automation. So whatever operations are undertaken by the computer are all automated. Things are very much inbuilt. Formula if you take for Excel are inbuilt, Word document you take, all the commands are inbuilt. So automation means all the operations, whatever you feed, all the data is being processed automatically. Next advantage that is we will do is capacity to carry out repetitive work. What do you mean by capacity to carry out repetitive work in regards to computer? You know, there are certain times when you get bored of doing the same thing time and again. But computer is a gadget when it performs repeatedly day after day, time after time, the same kind of work. But there is no frustration, though there is no fatigue and there is no boredom. So computer is a gadget which is doing the same type of task time after time, but still it is capable of doing this task repetitively without being bored. Next advantage that we come across is capacity of data processing. Data processing is you are working on this data. Processing means you are collecting the data, you are analyzing the data, you are summarizing the data, and finally interpreting it and presenting it. This is a whole process of data. So data processing means there are many tasks that are involved. You collect it, summarize it, classify it, manipulate it, put the formula, and then you finally present it. So it has all the capacity, or it has the way of data processing, right? Next advantage is consistency. Consistency means time and time again. Consistency means time and time again. I take a short example. Suppose if you are teaching in a class and you are asked to teach the same topic every day, there comes a time when consistency of the person loses. You come down to the level of your consistent. Consistent means you are equal every time, or you are presenting the same behavior every time. But if you are not consistent, means today you may give a very good lecture and tomorrow the lecture would not be up to the mark, or it might be better than yesterday's. So consistency means you are the same every time. If we talk in terms of computer, whatever the computer does the work, it will generate the same results every day. No matter what, it is going to generate the same results every day. So this is one important feature of computer, that it is consistent in nature. Next is precision. Precision means, comes from the word precise. Precise means up to the mark. Suppose you take log tables that you use in mathematics. What result it will produce? Log table says it is equal to 0.2479. This is what the log table produces, the result if you see something in log. Now this is not precise. You don't know whether you want to take 2 point. You can also write it as 0.248, or you can also write as 0.25. That means one number, it can be written in two different manners. So that means it is not precise. But computers, when it is given a decimal places, like you should find the result to 2 decimal place or 1 decimal place, it will always produce precise results. Last advantage that I need to mention is retrieving data and programs. Earlier when I was teaching advantages, we came across the third advantage, that was capacity to store information. Computer not only works in processing, but it also stores information. Okay, you can keep the information in the computer. Another thing linked to that is retrieving data and programs. Once you have stored it, you can easily and anytime retrieve it. Retrieve means when you're keeping something there and you're taking back from there, that is retrieving. That is the term retrieving. So once you have stored any kind of data in the computer, you can easily take back the data, work on that data and keep it back, or maybe you can use it outside. So retrieving data and programs is like you are using the data that is stored, retrieving it, taking it back, working upon it, and maybe using it for external purposes or keeping it back in the computers. These were the advantages or merits that I've discussed for the computer awareness. Next topic is history of the computers. Next topic that we will discuss is brief history of computers. Anything you study anytime, you are going to know that how, from where the term computers have arisen, right? We will start with computers is not and never a term that is arising from the very beginning. It is not a single day's work. It's not a creation of a single day. So computers, the use is now or maybe few years back, but what led to the generation of computers, that has been started from long back. We can say that is started from around 2400 BC. You know how you had the use of abacus. You know abacus, what is abacus? Abacus is like you have a slate, you use a slate, maybe you use it, the kids use it, and you above the slate you have these rods kind of a thing where the pebbles are made 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the kind of pebbles that are made. This is the abacus. It is used in counting the numbers. So abacus was used in 2400 BC in Babylonia. Now what is this abacus, or how it helped it? It helped a lot when it comes to say like after the use of abacus, analog computers were made. After the use of abacus, then came the age of analog computers. Now what these were analog computers? Analog computers were used for astronomical calculations. Analog computers were used. After this you had analog computers. Analog computers. Why these analog computers were made? Analog computers were made for the calculations, that is astronomical calculations. They were used for astronomical calculations. Astronomical calculations, analog computers were made. Like now what you did is, you talk about, there was a Scottish mathematician and a physicist, that was John Napier. Scottish mathematician and physicist John Napier, and he started using logarithms, which you have learnt in 10th class and 9th class. Even the math students use this term log. So John Napier was the person who started using log tables, right? Then came 1900s. This time they performed mechanical calculation. 1900s, there was a time when mechanical calculations were made. Mechanical calculation means use of calculators, cash registers, all the things were noted down and mechanical calculations were done using these. So then whenever the people who perform these mechanical calculation in this era, those people were known as computers. You know, people who are calculating or people who are performing these calculations were known as computers. Now what happened after 1960 exactly? After 1960, the computers or the use, or you can say, or the technology basically, the computer technology had undergone a deep meaningful change. You know how the use of transistors, the use of circuits, all these electronic very small chips, all these came into advent and it helped in making the computer. First they used to have supercomputers, mainframe, mini-frame computers. Then you have seen the PCs, you had the thick PCs. Now you see you have got thin frame PCs that are available. You have LEDs that are available. So from that technology, we have undergone many changes, and today even you have a pocket fitted computer that you can easily drive from one place to the other. So 1960s, the computer technology had gone major changes, and you see with the advent of this, there will be many things that will be coming into the power. So this is how the history of the computer goes. As use of abacus, then you had astronomical calculations, so you had the analog computers. Basically they were machines or gadgets that performed astronomical calculations. Now we call it as analog computers. Then 1900s, you had mechanical calculations that were done. So mechanical calculations, you always use with the help of calculators or cash registers. And now what they had is, after 1960 exactly, the computer technology was upgraded and it had gone complete or a big change, and that helped, or that is still helping us in getting up or upgrading ourselves with the technology every time. Next topic that we will discuss after brief history is future prospects of the computers. Future prospects means we have dealt with how the computers came, then we have dealt with the advantages of the computer. What are the future prospects? What is left, still left, that we can use, or you can make, or you can do, or you can perform with the help of computers? First we will see that computer is a very complicated machine. Complicated in the sense that it can perform number of activities. Things are so very done in a very perfect fashion, still it is very complicated. You see that you have been using you have the vacuum tubes, you have the wires, you have many other things that are encompassed in the computer system. You are not only the hardware, not only the software, you still see a machine that is kept before you that is performing so many tasks for you, and still you can feel the things are done in such a brave manner. So that is why they say it is a very complicated machine. You are the basic generation or the basic layout of a computer is very, very complicated. Next thing that we see is, thing that we can say about the computers is that you are now getting computers at a very cheap rate, because the use of computers and the availability of computers is increasing. As the use is increasing, there are many companies are launching different brands of computers. From PCs to laptops, you have a wide range of variety that is available in the market. It is not only, the computer use is not only restricted in the area of research or science or weather forecasting or banking or reservation. It has also reached the homes, it has also reached the household, where it is helping for a very small thing. You can say that if a lady who is working at home, she needs to see that how a particular recipe is made, how a particular dish is prepared. So you just have to go open the computer, start off with the computer, you just have to connect it to your internet, and there are many people, or there are many blogs, or there are many websites you can go through and serve the purpose, right? So this is how the computers are running very fast. Now what you see is, from robots to, you have another thing that is fitted gadgets. You have pocket fitted gadgets. So computer is not only one-sized available. Computer means robots. Robots are performing so many tasks for you, right? It is helpful in the research activities. Scientists are using robots. Many other very high-tech activities are carried out by the robots. Many operations, the medical operations, laser operations are being performed by the robots. So this is again the use of computer. Pocket fitted gadgets means something that is very miniature or very small and can easily fit in your pocket. The computer variety I am trying to explain is so large that it starts from the robot, that is a huge machine performing I don't know how long or how big tasks, and pocket fitted gadget means computer can be that small that it can fit into your pockets, right? So it could be anything. Now what future prospects are, you study the first term here as artificial intelligence. See, you have natural intelligence, means I am a born intelligent. That means I am a natural person who is intelligent. So that is the natural intelligence. When you instill the intellectual qualities, or when you instill the intellect in a body, that is known as an artificial intelligence. But in a body means that could not be a living body. I'm not talking about a thing, that it could be any other entity. So when you are instilling or putting some energy or putting some intellect or putting some intelligence in a body that might not be a natural body, and it is performing certain tasks on the basis of intellect or on the basis of intellectual trait, that is known as artificial intelligence, right? So this is why you use this in artificial intelligence. Human cannot be everywhere, right? Human beings cannot be everywhere. So there are certain areas you cannot just go and perform the task. So there are many areas where you leave the things in computers. Like, for simple example, if I want to deal with a person who is not in the town, or maybe he is not in the country, so what I can do, if I need to get the deal signed with him, doesn't mean I have to go and meet that person. I can just write an email through the computer and get the reply. So that is an artificial intelligence, right? Intelligence here means that I am writing it to some address, and correctly that computer is sending it to that particular address only. So that is one example of artificial intelligence. Next is robot technology. This is coming time and again, the word robot. What is robot technology? Now, robot technology has traveled a long way. Has traveled a long way, and there is still a long way to come for this robot technology. The people or the scientists are working very deadly on the upbuilding of this robot technology, or they are upgrading the robot technology every time. From space flight applications, some work that is being suppose you are working on space, you are working on some researches that take place in the space. You cannot go to space every time. You cannot go and visit a particular planet every time. So kind of artificial intelligence is created where the robots are sent, and these robot technology, under this the robot studies the environment or whatever purpose the robot is sent for. So it is used from space flight application to search and resources and many more other things in the areas of research. Next is quantum computers. Quantum computers, there is no much to tell. That is a future prospect. Quantum computers are yet to come. Quantum computers are yet to come means the scientists or the researchers are working on this area, and it is a very powerful machine. It is not only used for the business purpose, but it is also used at the homes for doing a very simple job. These quantum computers are still under construction, and it will be a very powerful machine which will be serving many areas of work and study. Then again, under this you have another term which is very much into the use, that is known as nanotechnology. Now, what do you mean by the term nanotechnology? Nano means the smallest. You know what nanotechnology means is the process whereby matter is manipulated at the atomic level. Matter is manipulated at the atomic level. That is known as the nanotechnology. Everything that is being made is made from its own basic most level. That is the use of nanotechnology. This is the future prospect of computers, that it is used for artificial intelligence, robot technology and quantum computers, which are yet to come, and that will be on the basis of nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is already very much in use. It's not only used in some kind of scientific research, but even for a very small thing, maybe cleaning up the clothes or cleaning up the resistance that is there, and it can lead to many more other big issues that are upcoming in the science today. This was the future prospect in the computer awareness. Next we will do is preliminary knowledge about computer, or the basic layout of the computer system. We will now see the basically is known as the basic block diagram of a computer. We will see how it goes. First is you will have the IP unit. You know what is IP? IP is the input unit. IP unit or the input unit, this is where the instruction goes. Right? This is the IP unit. I'll just make that first and then we'll explain to you. Then you have the memory unit. Okay. Then you have the ALU. Right? Then you have the control unit. This is the control unit, right? Then you have the output unit. Of course, you need to have something for the results that are being generated. You have the output unit. This is the output unit, right? Then you have, basically I'm just making it from you to get that thing very clear in your mind, that this is supposed to be, or you can say the input unit, you can have it here, IP unit, you will have the instructions, right? And this is the CPU. Now see how it goes. You will first study what is IP unit or input unit. Input unit means computer needs to retrieve data and instruction for further processing. You need to input something. Whenever you put something into it, something will happen and something will be generated, right? So this is input unit. You are inputting some kind of data or information in the computer. How the process goes? First, this is accepting the data from the outside world. Outside world means I am giving it, right? So if it is computer, that is inside world. Something other than computer is outside world. So it is accepting. Now what is it? It is converting. Third is, it is supplying. Now see how the process goes. It is accepting the data. I have sent some kind of data. For example, I have written few words in English on Word document. Now that is not understandable by the computer, but still it is accepting it, whatever I write. Now it doesn't know how to do. So what it will do, it will convert it in the form it knows, right? So for alpha, suppose I have written A, B, C. This language is not known to the computer. So what it will do, it will convert A into some kind of language that is known as binary language. It will convert in the form it accepts. So A will be something in the terms of computer, B it will write something in terms of computer, same with C. So first it will accept the data, then it will convert the data into the form that is understood by the computer. Third, it will supply the data to the, after converting it, supply the data where? To the output unit? No. The input unit will supply the data where? To the CPU. CPU means Central Processing Unit. You know what CPU is? CPU is Central Processing Unit. Right? So it consists of memory unit, ALU and control unit. So it consists of Central Processing Unit, means this is supposed to be the brain of the computer. It consists of three parts: memory, ALU is arithmetic and logic unit. Arithmetic and logic unit, and this is known as the control unit. You know, all the calculations are performed in the ALU, that is the arithmetic and logic unit. After accepting and converting the data, the input unit supplies the data to the ALU, that is the arithmetic and the logic unit. You know, all the calculations are done in this arithmetic and logic unit. Now you say, why the calculations? It's not only the mathematical calculations I'm talking about, it's also the logical calculations that are being performed in the data that is supplied by the input unit. So whatever calculations are being done, whatever the calculations are performed, it is either transferred to the memory unit, right, or it is supplied to the output unit. Whatever the case may be, if you want it, if you have retrieved the data from this arithmetic and logic unit, it will be supplied to the output unit. But if you have not done it and it has performed the calculation, it will be stored in the memory unit, right? Then we talk about the control unit. I'll come to the memory. We'll talk about the control unit. Control unit means that it controls all the other units of the computer. You know, the input unit, how it will receive the data, how the calculations will be performed in the arithmetic and logic unit, and whether they will be memorized or stored in the computer, or they will be generated or sent to the output unit. This, all the activities are performed by the control unit. So this is the function of the control unit, right? So whatever the flow of data takes place or flow of result take place, it is all controlled by the control unit. Then you have the memory unit. What do you mean by the memory unit? Memory means whatever data that has not been sent to the output is sent to the memory unit, so the other data can be sent to ALU. Whatever data calculations are performed, it is sent to the memory unit. Now you have the memory are of two types. You have the primary storage and you have the secondary storage. Primary is a volatile kind of a memory, and that is known as RAM. You know what memory means? Memory is, you can have as primary and secondary. Memory is either primary or memory could be secondary. Right? So it could be anything. So primary and secondary kind of a memory. So primary memory is RAM, known as RAM or random access memory, and it's a kind of a temporary or a volatile memory, that is, it is stored for that particular time being only, right? But whenever you switch off the computer, it is lost. Till the time the thing is being done, it is stored. Till the time computer is on and you're performing on the task, that is currently you are executing the task, you can always see the content which is stored in the primary memory. But once you switch off the computer, all the data that is stored or you can see in the primary memory is all lost. That is why this is known as a temporary or a volatile memory. Second is the secondary memory, that is a non-volatile, where the data is stored even when the computer is switched on, or even when you are not currently using or executing the file, you can store the data in the secondary memory. You have the hard disk, you have the pen drives, you have the floppy disk which are not much in use, you have the CDs, those are all the forms of secondary memory. Last you have the output unit. output unit you have, that is also known as, whenever you have also known as visual display unit, that is VDU. You have visual display unit, VDU or visual display unit. That means whatever you see or whatever task you perform, you can see it on the monitor. That is visual display unit. There are many other things. You can have the output as generated. You can not only see it on the computer, that is known as the software. You can also see it on the paper, that is known as the hard copies. You all know that is the soft copy, means you can see it or view it on your computers, and now you have the hard copies that you can have it on your papers with the help of the printers. So all these are known as the output units, right? First they used, you know what, these computers, the monitors and all these screens, they were all made up of, you know what, cathode ray tube. The monitor that was used was made up of CRT, that is the cathode ray tube. But now what they have done, you see a monitor that is a very thin film, that is now made up of very thin film transistor liquid, that is known as LED, the LCD maybe, basically liquid crystal display, LED. Firstly the monitors were made up of CRT, now it is made up of LCD. CRT means that was the use of cathode ray tube. Now it is LCD, that is a liquid crystal display, which has made or decreased the size. It has become a thin film transistor, very thin film transistor, and that is known as liquid. You have very thin transistors, that is liquid crystal display. So this was the shift, or this was the new thing that is being introduced with the help of many other technologies. You are using or changing the computers, which are easily kept, or you can move it from one place to the other. So this is the basic block diagram of a computer, where you have the input unit, accepting, converting and supplying. Then it goes to the ALU, that is the arithmetic and logic unit, where if the data is, the calculations are performed, it is sent to the output unit, and if it is not performed, it is sent to the memory unit. Memory unit has primary and secondary storage, and you have the control unit, which is basically handling all the functions. Then you have the output unit. Output can be in any form. You can display it on a monitor, or you can also have the results shown on the paper with the help of a printer. Then you have the visual display unit, that is known as, if you see it on a monitor. The monitor was earlier made up of CRT, now it is made up of LCD. Next thing we have that comes into is hardware and software. The computer consists of two important ingredients. It's just 2 minutes, okay? And it is hardware and software. Now what do you mean by the term hardware? Hardware means the peripherals or the attachments that you can see. Something that you can see on a computer. Suppose monitor, that is a hardware. Keyboard is a hardware. The modem that is kept outside the computer, not the inbuilt one, that is attached to the computer outside, that is hardware. You have the other, suppose you have a mic, that is a hardware. You have the sound system that is attached, you have the speakers attached, that's a hardware. You have a camera, webcam attached, that is a hardware. So hardware are all the peripherals that you can see on the computer, that are attached to the computer. You can see, feel, touch and use them. That is a hardware, right? Then you have a software. Software means you have basically there are two kinds of software. One is the application software and the other is the system software. Software means which helps in running the computer, and which are just the opposite of hardware. Hardware is something that you can see outside the computer. Software is which is inside the computer. So software is of two types: application software and system software. Application software means, suppose you want to run a game, Right? For example, you want to run a game in your computer. You need to put down some kind of applications which are required to run that particular game. Now that is known as an application software. That are the added softwares that will help you to run some particular application on your computer. Running a game or a CD, maybe these are all application softwares. Right? System software means which helps you to run the computer itself. You have the keyboard, you need to have installed something on there. You have the Windows running. Have you seen the Windows? You turn on the computer, you have Windows XP, Vista. All these have to be installed first on your computer. So these are all system softwares which help, or the executable files which help you to run the computer. Right? Something extra or added that is in the computer, that is known as the application software. Next topic that we will deal in is the utility of computer. Where all the computers are utilized, right? Which all disciplines or which all fields the computer is utilized. First, we will say science. Science is supposed to be one of the most technical fields where the computer is used in a lot, right? Like you have the laboratory testing. You collect the data, you collect the samples, then you study the samples and generate results. But when you are not using the computers, you might not generate accurate results, and that might lead to downfall of some kind of experiment or some kind of the person who is performing the experiment. But once the computers have been used in the area of science, you are easily able to collect the data, you can easily perform laboratory testing on that data, and you can generate or get accurate experimental results like weather forecasting and all. These are all the part of science collection of science, utility of computers in the area of science. Next you have is the space research. Next is the space research. What is a space research? It is, you know what, space research is also based on the use of computers. Space research is also based on the use of computers. Like I told you earlier, you have to create some kind of stimulation, right? What does that stimulation or simulation means? That means that every time when you need to perform certain experiments other than from our planet, other than you have to go in space, it's not always affordable. It's not I'm talking about one particular country, it could be all the countries or any countries in the world. It's not always affordable for that particular nation or that particular data collecting agency to go and visit the space. So for that very purpose, the use of computers, I've already told you, the use of robots and all, a simulation or situation is created. Means it's the imaginary situation that is being created with the help of computers, and then further space researches can take place. And you know what? No space research can take place without the help of computers. Without the help of computers, the space research will become or will be a very handicapped device. Next utility or the next area is medical and health care. What there are many diseases which are getting or cropping up in the human body which you have never heard. Our body is supposed to be a very complicated machine. So when you need to diagnose, you just suppose you need to generate a pathological report. Earlier the doctor used to diagnose the any blood sample, urine sample, etc. And then it used to generate the results or diagnose that which disease the person or the patient is suffering from. Nowadays, with the help of computers, it has become very easy to generate or to get the pathological investigations, the radiological investigations, the study of urology, neurology. This has all become very easy with the help of computers, and they generate very accurate results where there will be very negligible chances of failure. There are certain things or certain areas where medical and healthcare is taking the help of computers, that are maintaining patient history. Right? You have to maintain, suppose there are documents which would be missed by the patient, so the computer is feeding all the previous reports or all the history of a particular patient. So there the computer is used. Patient monitoring. You are continuously monitoring the health of a patient. That previous month the blood counts were this month it has increased. So that is another area where the use of computers is helping the medicines. Diagnosis of the disease, I told you earlier, you generate accurate results, you diagnose it up to the mark, and you have the computer aided surgeries. There are many surgeries or very critical surgeries where the doctors don't just sit on the computers and they have the instruments installed in the operation theatre, and they give instructions to the machinery that is installed inside with the help of the computer, and that the operation is performed by those machines on the patient with the help of the computers. So it has gone that far in the area of medical and healthcare. Next is education. Next is education. How it has helped the education? Very easy. I am giving the online lectures. That is with the help of computers. You can see or view people which are not giving lectures in front of the students. Those are known as the virtual classes. Have you heard the term? When the student or the pupil is sitting at a different place and the teachers are teaching at a different place, those are the virtual classes probably, right? Where I am not able to give my services to, I will conduct the virtual classes or the online classes for those students. And even the remote areas, you can have the education facilities with the help of computers. Next area where the computers are being used is publishing. Next area where they have been used is publishing. How publishing? See, suppose you have, I remember a person who is using these computers where you are very easily able to publish your books. You don't have to find a particular publisher. You are generating a book and very easy publicizing it to the people with the help of computers. You have the e-book stores where you can directly go and purchase a particular book. So that you can do with the help of computers. Next is you have communications. Communications is you are using from one place to the other. If I'm sitting at my home, I want to communicate to the person. Without the help of phone, I can use it, send emails, compose mails, or maybe online chatting you can have it. You can have the online talking to a person who is staying far away from you with the help of the computer. So this is one of the important advantage of this is communication. Even you have the video conferences and all held under with the help of computer, that will come under communications. Next is designing. What do you mean by the term designing? Is something to design or to prepare. So designing, computers are used for the technical and engineering drawing. You have a special software which is known as CAD. Special software known as CAD, that is computer aided design. This is used, that is in the use technical and engineering people, or the technical and engineering drawings are done with the help of this software. And you know what, this CAD also helps in producing computer animation special effects which are used by many of the movies, advertisements and other things. Next is entertainment. Very important, entertainment. You have to listen music, you have to listen or watch a movie. You just have to have a computer and the job is done. So watching a movie, listening to sounds, playing games, this all comes under entertainment. So computer is another way. Not only it is serving the very purpose of our basic life needs, but also it is giving a very relaxed and a leisure time and entertaining us in many of the ways, right? Next is office administration. Office administration means you have now the area, that is the punchline is paperless office, right? Otherwise, suppose if you take an example of a college, you see a person or a lady who is sitting in the office who is dealing with the fees or collecting of the fees of the students. Now I will see if a student comes and says, this is my fee book, you just see that I have paid the previous month fees. There could be any manipulations that been done by the student. So you, instead of going and bringing 10,000 files or bringing so many documents with you to counter check whether the student is saying right or not, you can just, with the click of the mouse, just at the click of the mouse, you can see the previous data of that particular student by entering the code, admission number, name of the student, and you can see that whether the student has paid the fees earlier or not. This is just a small example of office administration. Today the office has become paperless. So there are no papers. It's very easily, you have files on the computers and you have special softwares that have been developed for the office work, and with the help of these softwares which can be run on the computer, the office work has become very, very easy. Next you have is e-commerce. Commerce means trading, buying goods, right? So that is, you have e-commerce. E means you have through the internet you are doing. You are booking the show for a movie. You are booking the railway tickets, the airline tickets. It's all done on e-commerce, through e-com, with the help of e-com. That is known as e-commerce. Then you are also buying or selling certain things. There are many websites through which you can buy and sell certain articles or commodities. So again, that will all come under e-commerce, right? Then you have the inventory management. Inventory is the stock. How you are managing the inventory. You used to have long records, LIFO, FIFO. These were very different things lasting for different ways of maintaining your stock. Now just you have to have a particular software that is run on the computer, and all the stock is being managed by those particular softwares with the help of computers. You need to feed when the data stock is coming in, how much it is issued to the production department, how much it is left. This is all managed by the computers that is running the inventory management, right? Next is travel and transportation. So travel and transportation means, there is a very interesting thing about travel and transportation. It's like nowadays you have so many airplane and car traveling. So you have a particular, electronic equipment that is being fitted in your car that is supposed to be known as a global navigator system. That is known as the global navigator system. Now what this global navigator system means? It means there is an electronic device that is controlled by the computer. It is kept inside your car, and you just have to ask maybe or give the instructions to the place where you want to visit, but you don't know the way to that place. that navigator will help you to reach the final destination. It will tell you to turn left, go straight, turn right, go around, take a U-turn. So this is all done by the global navigation system. Right, you can also track the vehicle if it is stolen with the help of this system. You can have very emergency services with the help of this system. You can have the direction system, and you can also have the hotels and transport. Suppose you want to locate a hotel, so it will be easy and you will be able to locate a hotel and you can do the booking in that particular hotel. So this is travel and transport global navigation system that is very much in use these days, right? Suppose you have an account with a particular bank, you don't need to withdraw money every time. You can use the credit cards, the number that is on your credit card, just have to feed that number into the computer and your transaction is done. Suppose you are booking a ticket for a place through an airline company. So you will open the website of the airline company and you just have to give the credit card number and your payment will be made. So you can have the facility of online banking, electronic banking, that is known as maybe the e-banking system, and with that e-banking you can carry the transactions. You don't have to go to and visit that particular place. Sitting at your own computer and PC, you can carry on the transactions, right? That is the banking or the e-banking that is introduced with the help of computers. Next you have is government. All the government websites, the governments have their websites on the different departments of government, I can say, have their websites on the computers. Department of Foreign Affairs, Department of Home Ministry, Department of Oil and Natural Gas, Department of, maybe you can say, the education that is coming under. So government is running all the departments on computers. So you need to have anything, you need to study the growth or the backholes or the loopholes of the government or the data that is generated by a particular ministry. You can also always take a help of that particular website which is being published by the government. So again, the help of computers. With the help of computers, the government stream or that discipline is studied. Next we have the home. It's not only the computers are used outside the home, it's also inside. You are using the computers. You have TV at your home, your washing machine, microwave. Similarly, now the computers are available at a very affordable price and you can have the computer system running at your home, which is very easily manageable and very easily run. Very user friendly in a way. Next is you have the use of computer, agriculture. See, so you have to have that particular land, study of land. You can diagnose the particular type of soil that is good for growing or producing certain crops. So you have the certain softwares which are available and which will help you. Even the buying and selling of agricultural products is also done with the help of using the computers. Then you have the next use of computer, next field is energy. Energy means you have energy companies use computers. You know what? When you need to locate, suppose a mine that has coal, oil, right? So there are many areas where you don't know, you just keep on digging the earth and you get nothing. So the computers or the locators or the special softwares in the computer which will help you to locate where a particular mine, a coal you can find, or iron ore you can find, or oils you can find in a particular area, right? So these are all monitored by the power networks. Last place maybe not the least, is an industry. And industry is always there. See, computers are controlling the manufacturing system, and you know what? It's controlling the temperature, pressure also, checking the quality and accuracy of the measurement that is required in the manufacturing process. You know, this is industry is you are manufacturing a particular product, so you have to have the raw materials, you have to have the whole setup for the machinery, then you have to have the final disposal of that particular material. Different other uses would be like you have lifting of heavy equipments that are again done with the help of computers. You have the testing of blood samples, performing artificials, satellites. So these are all experiments done, and they all come under industries or with the utility of computers. So this was science, space research, medical and healthcare, education, publishing, communication, designing, entertainment, office administration, e-commerce, inventory management, travel and transport, banking, government, home, agriculture, energy and industry. These are the areas where the computer is used. Next we switch on to the disadvantages and advantages of a computerized accounting system. Computerized accounting is when you have the accounts or dealing in the transactions and you are taking the help of computers, right? What are the advantages of a computerized accounting? It is accurate. You know, you will get the perfect results, or you will obtain the accurate results than in a manual system, right? Then you have up-to-date information. When you use the computerized accounting, means they are, suppose you are making an account, you have a balance of 12,500. Tomorrow you add 500 to it, just write 500. You have such a system that it will accordingly add to it and your result will be 13,000. So that is an up-to-date system. Next is speed. Speed is very, very important when you use the computing accounting. You have so much of data, so much of database that is stored, and that database, you keep on storing a particular database, and that keeps on updating itself, and that keeps on performing the application operation after operation. Next is cost saving. It is a very cost saving affair. You don't need to have people sitting down and doing 2 plus 2 4. You can always have a computerized accounting software and you can do the things at the snap of fingers. Next you have the management information. Right? Management information means reports are generated, data is prepared, results are prepared, and that is given to the management so that it can analyze the data and see where it is faltering or see where it is progressing. Then you have the efficiency factor. How efficiently the data is worked with, that is another factor, or that is another advantage. Then you have reduces frustration. You know, sometimes you are so frustrated with the work you are doing, and that might lead to generation of the wrong results. So it will help you to reduce frustration or reduce the stress level that you might not even know what's inside your mind. Last is filing of the income tax returns. Next is filing online income tax returns. You don't need to go to the income tax office, tax return forms are available on the internet with the help of a computer or a computerized accounting system. The results are generated. You can directly feed in the income tax returns forms. So advantages of the computerized accounting: it is accurate, up-to-date information is generated, speed is good, cost-saving affair. It helps to the management to take wise and timely decisions. It's efficient in nature. It reduces the frustration of the person who's handling the accounts. And lastly, filling the online income tax return forms. These are some of the disadvantages that you have dealt in. You have some of the disadvantages also that you deal when you study the computerized accounting system. What could be the disadvantages? The disadvantages that you come across is power failure. You do something on the computer and the light goes off. So sometimes you might save it, you might save it, so the data is all erased. So that is a power failure is one of the cause that the computers are not always advisable for all kind of work. Then you have the viruses. You work on some particular kind of data, you do a lot, put in lot of labor, time, money, energy, and one day you get up in the morning, open the computer and see that the virus has all devastated your data, right? The virus has all devastated your data. So virus is another threat to your computers. Other disadvantage is the virus. Then you have the hackers. Hackers means somebody who has a full control over your computer or the work that you're doing on the computer. It may be your email accounts, even it may be your computer works, whatever. So hackers is another threat to your computer or disadvantage to your computerized system. Then you have the garbage in and garbage out. See, suppose I have put in something in the computer and you have the completeness, the accurateness that will come into your system will be when I put something inside the data. See, you have the data inside the computer, you have input the data, and the computer, you have executed some of the command over the data that you have input. Now you will get the output. So this is garbage in, garbage out. Suppose you put something that is irrelevant and there are so many applications that are running for that particular input, and you will definitely, if something is bad as the input, you will get something bad as the output also. You don't expect that you are writing A, B, C, D, F. Right? So the computer will correct it and give it to you. So it is always garbage in and garbage out. You put a wrong thing in and you put something that is irrelevant in, you will always get something irrelevant outside. So computer is after all a machine. It will not be able to track all the wrong things that you are doing. So these are some of the, you can say, the lacunas, or you can say these are the disadvantages that a computerized accounting system may face. Next that will be discussed is very short. It is accounting softwares. What are the different accounting softwares that will help you to run the computerized accounting system? Accounting software. First, you have very often you have heard the name Tally. You know, Tally is a very a company that has started when you have the ledgers. First you have the journals, ledgers, trial balance, then you have the balance sheets, then you have the cash flows, fund flows. These are all studied under accounts, right? Tally has prepared a software where you just put or you enter the transaction, and finally a ledger, a trial balance and a balance sheet will be generated on its own. So Tally is a very important and a very good software, and it has got all its latest versions now. So Tally is one of the very powerful accounting software that is very much in use even by the colleges, schools, the educational institutions, institutions which are running down some kind of business. Tally is an important software there. Then you also have a SAP. SAP is again a very important or a powerful accounting software. With this you also have ERP. You have Enterprise Resource Planning. This is again a software which is not only keeping a track of your accounts but also the resources, enterprise information, to coordinate all the resources, information that are all done undertaken by a particular company. So a business that is running, how, from where it is getting things, how it is processing the things, how it is billing the things, it's all done by the ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning, Enterprise Resource Planning software. Then you have the MUNIM. MUNIM is also a very easy to operate financial accounting software. It is a little higher version. It uses when you have something like taxes that comes, the e-tax, the VAT, the duties that are being performed, excise duty, custom duty. These are all, when you do these type of calculations, use the MUNIM software, which makes your calculation very, very easy. Then you have the other softwares also, but these are one of the important softwares, that is Tally, SAP, ERP and MUNIM, which are run or their help is taken out by from small to very big business firms, even by the academics and the educational institutions. So these were the following topics that are studied under the computer awareness.